Let me ask you something that may just change the direction of your life. And it starts with what you do before 9 a.m. I see too many people spending their lives reacting, snoozing alarms, rushing out the door and chasing time instead of mastering it. They live by default, not by design. But here's the truth. Your morning isn't just the start of your day, it's the foundation of your future. Now here's the real question. How do you begin? Is it random or is it intentional? Are you waking up with purpose or are you just waking up? Because if you win the morning, you win the day. And if you repeat that rhythm long enough, you win the year. You win your life. It's not about perfection, it's about direction. It's about discipline by design. Just 1 or 2 simple habits practiced every morning can unlock more clarity, more energy, and more results than most people ever imagined. So I challenge you, not tomorrow, not next Monday, starting today. Rethink the way you wake up, because if you don't have a routine, life will hand you one. And I promise you, it won't be the one you want. Stay with me, because in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to build a powerful, personal, and productive morning routine. One that sets the tone for success every single day. Let's begin the first hour. Master it or be mastered. Let's talk about the first hour of your day. The moment your eyes open and the world hasn't quite grabbed you yet. Hear me loud and clear. That first hour is not just another 60 minutes on the clock. It's a golden window, a sacred space, a choice. And the way you treat it will determine whether you run your life or your life runs you. Most people don't have a morning. They have an emergency. They roll out of bed late, skip reflection, grab their phone like it's oxygen, and dive straight into noise. No direction, no intention, just reaction. But let me offer you a different idea. The first hour is your training ground, your advantage, your edge. And if you can learn to master that hour, you can learn to master your entire day and eventually your entire destiny. Because here's what I've learned. Discipline starts before breakfast. That first hour sets the tone. It creates momentum. It whispers to your mind, this day belongs to me. I'm in control. Think of it this way. The morning is your personal boardroom. It's where the CEO of your life, and that's you, decides how the rest of the day will unfold. So let me ask you, do you enter that first hour with a plan, or do you drift into it like a leaf in the wind? Because if you don't command the first hour, the world will. And the world is pushy. It's full of texts, notifications, breaking news, drama, distractions, and none of it is designed to serve your dreams. Now let's get practical. What does mastering the first hour actually look like? It doesn't mean cramming 20 things into your schedule. It means choosing a few simple disciplines and doing them with purpose. Here's a suggestion. Wake up with intention, not anxiety. Sit in silence before the noise arrives. Write down your goals, even if they're the same goals you wrote yesterday. Read 10 pages of something that feeds your mind, not your fear. Move your body, even if it's only for a few minutes. And most importantly, decide who you're going to be today. You don't need perfection. You need rhythm, you need commitment, you need consistency. Because when the first hour is intentional, the rest of the day follows like a well-trained horse. But when the first hour is chaos, you spend the rest of the day trying to recover from your own lack of preparation. I've seen this in my own life again and again. When I treated my mornings like an accident, my results looked accidental. But when I treated my mornings like a ritual, like a ceremony, the rest of my day rose to meet that standard. And the best part, it only takes one decision to begin. Not next week, not after the weekend. Tomorrow morning, get up and take control of the first hour. Set the tone. Set the intention. Begin the day like the leader of your own life, not a follower of chaos. Because if you don't master that first hour, sooner or later, life will master you. And I don't want that for you. I want your mornings to become the launching pad for your success, not the apology for your failure. So begin here. Master the morning, master the moment. And soon you'll find yourself mastering the life you once only dreamed of. Because success is hidden in your schedule. Let me share with you a simple truth that changed my life, and it might just change yours. Success doesn't show up by surprise, it shows up by schedule. Yes, that's right, not by luck, not by wishes, not even by talent alone. Success is found not in the big goals, but in the little blocks of time that most people waste without a second thought. Your calendar, my friend, is not just where you keep appointments. It's where you build your future. Now don't misunderstand me. I'm not talking about cramming your day full of endless to-do lists and non-stop hustle. That's not the game. I'm talking about intentional time. Time that is aligned with who you want to become. Because here's what I've learned. You can't have a first-class life with a second-class schedule. Let me ask you something. If I looked at your calendar for the week, would I see your dreams on it? Would I see time for reading, time for thinking, time for building, time for health, time for relationships? Or would I just see errands, meetings, mindless scrolling, and a whole lot of busy with very little progress? Success isn't buried somewhere in the future. It's hidden in your daily routine. More specifically, it's hidden in how you structure your time. Let me give you a word. Deliberate. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is not the number of hours they have. We all get the same 24 hours. The difference is how deliberately those hours are used. The question is simple. Who is getting more value from their 24 hours? The struggling person and the wealthy person, the undisciplined person and the achiever. They all have the same clock. The difference is the schedule. You see, your life moves in the direction of what you consistently give your time to. Want to become stronger? Schedule your workouts. Want to become smarter? Schedule your learning. Want better relationships? Schedule connection. Want freedom? Schedule discipline. Here's what I recommend. Don't just live from memory. Live from design. Design a day that moves your life forward. Design a week that reflects your values, not your stress. And don't try to perfect everything on day one. That's not the point. Start simple. Brick 30 minutes every morning for yourself. Brick 20 minutes at night for reflection. Give your goals a time slot and protect it like it matters. Because it does. Your future is not waiting to be discovered. It's waiting to be scheduled, and here's the beautiful part. Once you take control of your schedule, you stop living like a victim of time and start living like the architect of your life. So take a look at your day. Take a look at your week. Don't just fill the hours. Invest them. Put success on the calendar and then show up like your life depends on it. Because it does. Remember this. Either you run your schedule or your schedule runs you. One of those choices leads to a life of purpose. The other leads to a life of regret. Choose wisely, design deliberately, and schedule your success. Your rituals reveal your results. Let me share something with you that every successful person understands, even if they don't always say it out loud. Success isn't something you stumble into. It's something you create through your rituals. Now I know what you're thinking. What's a ritual? A ritual is more than a habit. It's a decision made sacred through repetition. It's not just what you do. It's what you commit to doing every single day with purpose, meaning, and direction. You see, people want the results, but they ignore the rituals. They want the six-figure income, but not the early mornings. They want a strong body, but not the daily movement. They want peace of mind, but avoid silence and stillness. But I'll tell you this. Your rituals tell the truth. They reveal whether you're serious or simply wishing. They show the direction your life is heading long before the results appear. Because what you repeat, you become. So let me ask you, what do your daily rituals say about you? Do they speak of discipline or distraction? Do they whisper growth or stagnation? Do they reflect purpose or survival? Because it's not what you do occasionally that shapes your destiny. It's what you do consistently, especially when no one is watching. When no one is cheering and no one is watching, that's when it matters most. Let me give you a simple example. You want to become a reader? Read every morning. Just 10 pages a day. That's 300 pages a month and 3,600 pages a year. That's not just reading, that's identity transformation. You want to become fit? Move every morning. You don't need an hour. Start with 15 minutes. Rituals are not about duration. They are about devotion. And here's the secret. At first you shape your rituals. But over time your rituals shape you. They build your confidence. They build your mindset. They build your life. Your results are simply a mirror. They reflect the rituals you have repeated over time. If you want better results, don't start with the goal. Start with the ritual. So what do? We don't try to do everything. We choose a few powerful actions and we do them well every single day. Without excuses, without drama, without needing to feel motivated, because discipline beats motivation every time. Build a ritual for your body. Build a ritual for your mind. Build a ritual for your spirit. Stack those wins and stack them early in the day. Because how you start your day often becomes how you live your life. Rituals are how you signal to the world and to yourself that you're serious. So don't just chase results. Build the foundation. And remember this. If you want to change your life, don't change everything. Change your rituals. Start small, stay consistent, and watch your results begin to rise like the sun every single day, from snooze to strategy. Let's talk about something simple but dangerous. The snooze button. It may seem harmless. What's 10 more minutes, right? But let me tell you something. Those 10 minutes are not free. You pay for them with momentum, with discipline, and eventually with regret. You see, snoozing is not just a sleep issue. It's a mindset issue. It's your first decision of the day. It says I'd rather delay than start. It says comfort over commitment. It says later instead of now. And the tragedy is that a small lazy habit can become a big lazy life. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you delay the day, you will delay the dream. If you start with avoidance, you will finish with excuses. Let me challenge your thinking. What if the first 5 minutes of your day became the most powerful minutes of your day? What if instead of hitting snooze, you hit strategy? Here's the truth. Your bed is for resting, not retreating. And your morning is for action, not avoidance. You don't need to overhaul your life. You simply need to change that first decision. Replace the lazy habit with a winning ritual. Get out of bed when the first alarm goes off. Not because you feel like it, but because you said you would. That's how confidence is built. By keeping promises to yourself. When it's hard, that's when it matters most. Drink water. Wake the body, move. Wake the mind. Write down your goals, wake your purpose. Don't check your phone. Don't scroll through social media. Don't start your day in someone else's life. Start it in your own. This is how we shift from passive to powerful. This is how we move from snooze to strategy. Now some people say, I'm just not a morning person. And I say that's not a label, that's a pattern. And patterns can be changed. You simply have to want the outcome more than the excuse. Every lazy habit can be replaced, but only if you replace it with something better. So build a new pattern. Build a new decision. Build a new identity. Become the kind of person who doesn't hit snooze because life is calling. Purpose is calling. Progress is calling, and progress doesn't wait. Remember this. Every time you hit snooze, you train yourself to delay life. But every time you rise with intention, you train yourself for greatness. So make the decision not once, but every morning. No more delays. No more lazy starts. Trade the snooze button for strategy, structure, and self-respect. Because your dreams are not sleeping in. They are waiting for you on the other side of the alarm clock. Fuel the mind. The morning is for learning. Let me ask you a question. What are you feeding your mind first thing in the morning? Just like the body needs fuel, so does the mind. And if you start the day with junk, don't be surprised when your thoughts are foggy, your attitude is weak, and your results are average. Here's the truth. The first thoughts of your day shape the quality of your day. And the quality of your day over time shapes the quality of your life. Most people wake up and feed their minds with noise. The news, the gossip, the drama, the headlines. They begin the day anxious, reactive, and behind. Then they wonder why the rest of the day feels like a battle. But you're here to grow. You're here to build a better life. And that starts by feeding your mind the right nutrients first thing in the morning. Let me put it simply. You need to study more than you scroll. You need to absorb wisdom before you absorb distraction, because ideas are the seeds of change, and every morning is a chance to plant new ones. Now don't worry. I'm not talking about spending 5 hours in a library. I'm talking about 15 or 20 minutes. Start small. Stay consistent. Write a few pages of a good book. Listen to 10 minutes of an educational podcast. Learn from a mentor who has already gone where you want to go. Let your morning become your classroom instead of your crisis. Every day you are either building your mind or allowing it to become dull. And in this world, a dull mind is a dangerous thing. You have dreams to build, skills to sharpen, thoughts to upgrade. And mornings give you the mental space to do exactly that before the world starts knocking at your door. Do you know what happens when you fuel your mind in the morning? You think sharper, you act wiser, you speak with more clarity, you face the day with more direction. Because the more you learn, the more you can earn, become, and contribute. Some people say they don't have time in the morning. And I say then you don't have time to grow. You make time for what matters. Cut 10 minutes from scrolling. Cut 15 minutes from complaining. And you've just bought back your mind. Here's the deal. Garbage in, garbage out. Wisdom in, wisdom out. So guard the gates of your mind, especially in the morning. Feed it something strong, something useful, something true. Because your life will rise or fall to the level of your thinking. And your thinking is shaped by what you study. Start tomorrow. Put a book beside your bed. Put a notebook on your table. Keep a podcast ready to play. Turn down the noise and turn up the learning. Because when you fuel the mind early, you lead the day with power instead of panic. And that is the mark of someone building a life on purpose. Remember, discipline isn't just mental, it's physical. And when your body moves with intention, your mind follows its lead. Let me say that again. When your body moves with intention, your mind follows its lead. That's why successful people don't just train their thoughts. They train their mornings, they train their energy, they train their pace. Have you ever noticed how some people carry momentum all day long? They're not lucky. They're not special. They simply move early and momentum stays with them. So what's the takeaway? Build movement into your morning ritual. Walk while you think, stretch while you reflect. Let motion become the switch that turns your day on. Because the alternative is simple. You stay, you wait, you stall, you hesitate. And hesitation is the enemy of success. Here's the truth. You don't need to feel motivated to move. You need to move first, and then you'll feel motivated. It works in life, it works in business, it works in your spirit. So tomorrow morning, don't just wake up. Rise, stand, move, shake off the sleep, shake off the doubt, shake off yesterday's limitations, and step into momentum one move at a time, because movement may not solve everything, but it's how everything starts. Movement sparks momentum. Let's talk about one of the simplest and most overlooked keys to success: movement. I'm not just talking about fitness or working out or running 5 miles before sunrise. Those things are great if you enjoy them. I'm talking about something even more basic and powerful. Physical motion that creates mental momentum. See, too many people try to think their way into action. They sit still, they scroll a little, they overthink a lot, and then they wonder why nothing changes. But here's a principle I learned early. You don't wait for energy, you create it. And the fastest way to create energy is to move your body. Stretch, walk, breathe, do 10 push-ups, march in place, step outside for fresh air. You don't need a gym, you need a spark, because when you move, things shift. The blood flows, the mind clears, ideas come, confidence rises. Momentum wakes up. I call it activation. And in the morning, before the emails, before the meetings, before the madness, you need to activate yourself. Why? Because motion defeats stagnation. Because stillness leads to stiffness in both the body and the mind. And because the person who starts fast often finishes stronger. Now listen, you don't need to be extreme, you need to be consistent. A few minutes of movement every morning is enough to ignite the system. The morning is for gratitude and goals. Let me tell you something. How you begin your day is how you shape your life. And there are two forces you must feed every single morning: gratitude and goals. Gratitude keeps your heart aligned. Goals keep your mind focused. Most people start their day in survival mode. They wake up stressed, thinking about what's missing, what's wrong, and what hasn't happened yet. But here's the truth. If you start your day in lack, you'll live your day in limitation. If you start your day with complaints, you'll carry that mindset all day long. That's why the first few minutes of every morning should be a time to recalibrate your perspective. A time to remind yourself that you're alive, you're breathing, and you've been given another opportunity. So start with gratitude. And not just vague thank yous. Get specific. Be thankful for your health even if it's not perfect. Be thankful for your family even if things aren't easy. Be thankful for opportunity even if the path is not completely clear yet. Gratitude trains your eyes to see the good, and it trains your mind to expect more of it. But gratitude alone isn't enough. You also need clarity, direction, purpose. That's where goals come in. The morning is the perfect time to reconnect with why you're doing this, why you're working, why you're pushing forward, why you're choosing discipline over comfort. Write down your goals, speak them out loud, and don't just write what you want. Write who you're becoming to achieve it. If you want to become wealthy, write this: I am becoming a disciplined steward of my time and talents. If you want to become healthier, write this: I am becoming someone who honors my body with every choice. Because goals are not just about achievement, they are about transformation. And here's the real secret: gratitude roots you in the present. Goals pull you toward the future. And when you live with both, you walk through your day with peace and power. Now some people say, what if I don't feel grateful? What if I don't feel inspired? And I say, that's exactly why you practice it. You don't wait to feel thankful. You practice gratitude until the feeling arrives. You don't wait to feel focused. You write down your goals until clarity appears. Discipline comes first. Emotion follows. So here's the challenge. Every morning before the world gets noisy and before the demands of the day begin, take 5 minutes. Spend 3 minutes on gratitude. Spend 2 minutes on goals, or reverse it if you prefer. It doesn't matter. What matters is building the habit of direction into the beginning of your day. Because if you don't decide what matters to you, the day will decide for you. And you may not like its choices. So tomorrow morning, wake up thankful. Thankful for what is hungry for what could be. Gratitude in one hand, goals in the other, and that, my friend, is a life built on purpose. Win in the morning, win the day. Let me give you a phrase that changed my life. Win the morning and you win the day. It sounds simple, maybe even too simple, but don't let that simplicity fool you. It is one of the most powerful disciplines you will ever build. As we come to the end of this message, I want you to remember one thing. A successful life is not built in a single day. It is built one morning at a time. Every idea we discuss today comes back to a simple truth. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your daily habits. The way you start your morning shapes the way you live your day. And the way you live your days shapes the life you eventually create. If you want a better future, then start with a better morning. Master your first hour, take control of your schedule, build rituals that support your goals, stump excuses with action, dump snoozing with strategy, feed your mind with knowledge, move your body with purpose, practice gratitude, focus on your goals. And most importantly, stay consistent. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to have all the answers. You do not need to change everything overnight. You simply need to make the next right choice, then make it again tomorrow, and the day after that. Because success is never the result of one giant step. It is the result of hundreds of small disciplined steps taken consistently over time. Remember this: every morning you wake up, you are given a new opportunity, an opportunity to improve, an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to become the person you were meant to be. So don't waste that gift. Rise with intention, rise with gratitude, rise with discipline, and rise with purpose. Because when you win the morning, you win the day. When you win enough days, you win the year. And when you win enough years, you build a life filled with meaning.